Let's talk about the show as a phenomenon. One of the things I hear now is that there's a crowd of people sort of always like congregating outside the set. Pretty much, they spend the night, they camp out just to kind of catch a glimpse. What's that like, Steven, to have kind of these groupies out there? But Robert, you jump in too.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't need to talk.
Groupies at your house?
I was going into the producer's trailer to like check my email or something, and it was way away from set, and it was when we were filming at Terminus, and I'm opening the door and I hear, hey, Robert, hey. And I'm like, what's going on? And like on the other side of a fence behind some bushes, there's like 6 people there. And they're like, yeah, we thought you were here. Can you sign some books? oh, okay. And so I was like feeding books through a chain link fence, and like I was taking pictures like through a chain link fence. We have no security.
Right, exactly. Hope you don't mind, right? That sounds like a larger issue, yeah.
But they're everywhere. They're like people love this show, and like they're.
Well, they're often in costume too. I mean, you'll drive out of the set, and across the street are just people camped out, dressed like your characters, and it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy to see that the show kind of permeates not even just in that world, but in the physical world. Like you can go to Sonoy, and there's industry based on the show.
Right. Has its own spin on it. And to me, it means a lot of things. I think that, it's taking us back to a time when the Walking Dead were much more dangerous and a much more ever-present threat. And so it's definitely a time to fear the Walking Dead. But, I've always liked the fact that the Walking Dead refers to the zombies and the people that, we're exploring, because they are, in a sense, all just on borrowed time. And it's possible that the people that we're following in this show are maybe a little bit more deadly. And I'm a fan of human nature. I love, just trying to be a bystander in life and like paying attention to the different ways that people's minds work. And because I think it's fascinating that, all of us are actually substantially different, and we don't really notice it, or we don't really pay attention, because most of us are so narcissistic. We just assume that everyone is making the same decisions based on the things that we're basing them on, but I think it's actually not the case. And so, just as a fan, I like, read up on stuff like that, and, I try to spitball, different things, but I'm certainly not educated in those things, so I'm just winging it.
Well, I think you're yourself.
That's always an interesting thing that I love to observe, is what people choose to, how they choose to view the show. There's different types of characters on our show. Not that every character isn't somehow accessible to someone, and to say like, I can be like that person. I think that's available for every character, but I think there are some characters where it lends itself to being in awe of that person, as opposed to actually relating to that person. And so as a viewer, you can either choose, do I want to be in awe of these characters, or do I want to choose or find someone that heavily relates to me? What's been fun about Glenn is I feel like he fills that relatable portion, where he does have weaknesses, he does have strengths, and it's fun to see kind of like what an average guy would turn into, hopefully. In the best conditions. And then there's people like Daryl, who are amazing, and you look at them and say like, that guy is awesome, I want to be that guy. But, and not to say that there's not a relatability there, but I think there's a little bit more awe in his direction. And that's always interesting too, because it depends on who you talk to. I know a lot of people that will say, why aren't you more badass this season? And for me, I'm like, I'm actually just, we're playing it how this character would play it out. And sometimes, I don't want to knock on that aspect of it, but that word badass gets thrown around a lot. And I think it's fun to see people watch the show as an entirety, to see why Carol exists, why Gabriel exists, why all these different characters exist, because they're all facets of every single person. And I think that's what ultimately makes the show really enjoyable to watch.